Hey there folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition, Sphere of Influence. I'm the Mysterious JG, and it's time for, well, the awesome intro is about to play, but I'm going to cut it off, sadly. It's time for another visiting the subscribers created, rewarding the rewarders, whatever thing. It's time for us to look at this balding guy, and then we're going to go through the list of created characters and see what they're all up to and how they're all doing. Now that the Hojo and the Satake have both fallen. So, Nobunaga's list of victims continues to lengthen. He took out the Saito, and then the Imagawa, and the Takada, and the Hojo, and the Satake, and I don't even remember the names of the Jabra clans. He took it out on his way towards facing the Chosakabe in the west. But now it's time for us to visit with some of the folks who made that possible, and some of the people who still oppose the Oda. And some of the folks who made that possible have kind of fallen off the edge of the world a little bit there. Yoshihisa Shimazu. He and his brother swiftly conquered the domains of Kyushu, however, things happened. And we got some pretty awesome ass music going too. Hey, Kana Satake hasn't been hired by us yet, so we will have a couple of people floating around. Man, look at all these ladies. They're lovely, lovely ladies. Yeah, we'll have a couple like random people floating around doing whatever. Because there will be clanless, because the Satake clan have been eliminated, but they haven't been hired by me yet, so because they're on their way to base, basically. So Akira Hato is up first as ever. She is with the Matsudaira, and she's on the march, as it happens. So that is interesting. She is probably involved. Oh, I just had a paranoia attack. Am I actually recording here? Yes, I am. She's probably involved in the war that's about to break out, or has already broken out, between the Nagao and the Matsudaira. So that's interesting. I'm wondering who attacked first. That is a... oh, well, I guess it looks like the... either the Nagao attacked first, or the Matsudaira attacked first and did a shitty job of it. There is Mirikatoji, who is another... And Mirikatoji is another created officer, so we'll have that already taken care of. And he's got Akira Hato with him as an adjutant. Even though I had originally, way back when, I was trying to hire Akira Hato because I wanted her to be a good, like, domestic officer for us, but she's still... No, I'm not trying to deploy. And Taratsugu Sakai sadly doesn't have any adjutants, even though you'd think there's a whole bunch of Matsudaira officers sitting around waiting for the chance to do something exciting and fun like this. Miyokiso. Yeah. And Hakuma's got a lot of troops ready to fight. And Odawara is actually low on troops now because it's one of the places that actually had guys march out. Sentoin, I don't know who that is. Yuki Takasanda. Now I'm just like... I'm going through these units because I'm half expecting to find like Vulture Bobo in one of them, and that'll be one less person we'll have to look for. And oh, the Wakakemono boss. I'm surprised that he's oh wait, I screwed that up. I was trying to grab this unit and I did not manage to do it. Here's Amakusa, but I do not believe that it's Amakusa Shiro Tokisara. There's a Hanjo. I got a Rondo thirst. There's more guys. Yeah, they're oh, there's Jason Arogi. Ninja Master fighting for the Nagao. So it looks like the Nagao are pretty serious about taking that territory and possibly trying to do more after that. Kagai Kakazaki, I don't think that's a created character, but can't be positive. Anyway, let's get back to the list of officers. So Akira Hato is not only is she still with the Matsudaira, but she's actually on her way to battle right now as we speak. Alzarine has joined us. Alzarine was a longtime officer of the Takeda, who joined us and is now a lord. He was he burns with loyalty because we made him lord of the castle. And otherwise, once he got over the fact that the Takeda were no more, he was pretty happy with us anyway, because of things like the, talented being rewarded, and I think he just kind of had an Oda frame of mind. You are overseer. Might have been made lord of the castle. She's just kind of generic woman, so. Atata Ora 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 is coming up here. And he's going to perform above his abilities. He doesn't really get on all that terribly well personally with Nobunaga, but in pretty much every other sense, he's happy, and he's also the conqueror of the Asakura, so he's earned some bragging rights there. Aya Oda and Ayame Takeda, who is the daughter of... we got her a long time before we got Harunobu, but that's actually Harunobu's daughter. Harunobu, unless I am mistaken, is the one that's generally known as Shingen. Now we skip down to Charlton Jaina. Apparently there's not a lot of people in Japan whose name starts with B. So Charlton Jaina, she's been with us for a long time, one of our oldest and loyalist retainers. And she actually is not one of our oldest, she's only 38. But she's the Tango Prefect, and she's a maiden warrior, the maiden form warrior. You never know when she'll turn. She's received a rank and a treasure, and yeah, she's just tickled pink to be with the Oda. I'm using her for a lot of diplomatic type missions. And I think for a while there, she had supplanted Saruko and Soup Dragon, Soup Phantom, excuse me, various other people. For a while there, she's been the person who speaks at the monthly meetings, so she's running the meetings. Kolio Wing would be next. You are one of these... Oh, no, she's not, like... I probably looked at her, like, every single frickin' time, but she's not one of these weird bead characters. Her husband was killed at the Battle of Kawakanajima. She served Shingen Takeda as a ninja. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But, Kolio Wing, there he is right there. He's, there's not that much to say about him. I mean, he's a veteran officer of a clan that's not really going anywhere. That clan, I believe, are vassals to the Imago. Yeah. And that's kind of what's going on with them, because the Imago are not powerful enough now to really absorb anybody, probably, but they are powerful enough to have vassals. These guys could potentially be involved in a fight with the Chosokabe. That's like, could I call them in to help against the Chosokabe? I know. Cannot select. They are vassals to another clan. So that's kind of, that whole becoming vassal to another clan kind of took them out of the game. And really eliminated any chance of Kolio Wing having a big impact, unfortunately. Until, and if we eventually face off against the Imago clan, then things will heat up there. Cory Hall, on the other hand, is with Yuchi. And he's been given a really high-end treasure. Lord of the castle. Yeah, as an officer of the Yuchi, he's an officer of probably one of the last forces that might give us a little bit of a fight before this whole thing winds down. Sean Miller is next. He's our man. He's been with us for a while. I think he was part of that final battle against the Hojo, and I think he may have marched against the Satake too, but I kind of lost track of him. I don't have any specific recollection of what he was doing. But as a progressive officer with a reasonably low required loyalty, he's pretty happy with the state of things. At the Oda. Delicious Tacos, of course. We saw Delicious Tacos. He, she, it fought against us for the Satake, was part of the attacks on the Hojo that helped to distract the Hojo's forces and allow us to conquer the Hojo. Delicious Tacos likely will be joining us soon, because she is currently a prisoner in a unit that's marching back, and with no clan, I think it's pretty much automatic. Delicious Tacos will be joining the Oda shortly. Here's some dude who they kept suggesting that we hire him away from the Hojo, and I just waited until eventually we took over, and now we got him. Dylan Disaster. He is with the Nagao. He was part of what I had been referring to as Vulture Clan, although I don't remember the actual name of the clan. He's been with the Nagao since that clan conquered, and he's now a veteran officer. He's been that clan got conquered long enough ago that he's, you know, doing his thing. And he was married into the clan, too. So that's pretty cool. The Nagao are apparently pretty impressed with you, buddy. I'm going to take a second and just skip down to Kasumi, because I'm curious if she is a character with a bio, or just a generic chick that they married Dylan Disaster to. But I probably need to keep going until I actually get to the K's. That might be the smartest way to do those two. H-I-J-K. Here we go. Oh, it's going to get good now, folks. Oh, look at that. There's an adorable little child. There's another adorable little child. There's a lot. You let female officers be in this game, there's a lot of them. So yeah, Kasumi, right? Kasumi Nagao. She's just daughter of Harukage Nagao. Now I'm curious about him, but I don't think he's the guy who becomes Shingen. Harukage Nagao. That would be the father-in-law now of Dylan Disaster. See, you know, if you're not familiar with Japanese names, you think you're close, and then it turns out there's like 80 guys you still gotta cycle through because H is a common first name, and I guess Harunobu Takada, the Tiger of Kai, Haruka Nagao. So that's not the right Nagao. I thought it was Haruka. Oh, he might be dead. Became head of clan after his grandfather died. He died while fighting against Motonari Mori. Well, that's not going to happen now. Motonari Mori's force has been wiped out. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking maybe the guy got taken out or something. So next would be Earl King, the Der Erlkönig. He shows loyalty and conduct and can be trusted as a retainer. We captured him. I guess he was with, I can't remember now. I think he was with the Hojo. Either that or the Satake, but it must have been the Hojo. Because I don't remember fighting him very recently. So he still doesn't like us much. I mean, he's got that -3. His loyalty will be 16 out of a required 7. So once he stops hating us over the whole Hojo thing. So at that point, he's not somebody that will end up getting a treasure. Because sadly, he's just not a squeaky enough wheel to need it. He's happy to serve the force that's pretty much going to unite Japan. And with high intelligence poll, he's a really good all-arounder. He's the kind of guy that I could probably just like keep him in cities that are trying to develop, but frontline cities, because he's got high enough leader and valor stats that he would also be able to fight effectively. Fat John, it's been pretty quiet for him recently because the Shimazu aren't really fighting anybody, but at least it doesn't seem like they are. Maybe they'll go to war with the Uchi again, but it seems like they kind of patched things up, at least temporarily. Next up, we got Garth Morgan. Things have been quiet for Garth because, well, no, I shouldn't say that at all. That's completely wrong. He's got a really high pull stat, although it doesn't look like it can go any higher than 100. But he's been, he's out there with Hideyoshi fighting the Chosakabe, so he's got 20 out of required 7. He likes his regent that he serves. He likes Nobunaga. He's just a happy dude. And he is, of course, our only honky in the game, since you cannot have Western as a character, sadly. As much as I would love to. Gainon Hojo is fairly happy. despite the fact that we destroyed the Hojo. Third son of Soun, he served the Hojo for 5 generations. He wrote a special letter and gave it to Ujiyasu's daughter when she left the clan to join the Kira. You mean Major Kira of Bajor? Alright, so stupid. Alright, after Garth Morgan is actually Grimmeth Reaper, who just joined us for the first time. He still doesn't trust us very much. He's hiding his true abilities so as not to be treated poorly. I don't get that, but the idea that they're not going to work for you at full capacity until they've been with you for a while and trust you is fine. But that sentence, hiding his abilities so as not to be treated poorly, doesn't make a lick of sense to me. He, of course, has all the traits ever because I let Grimmeth, in my efforts to trick him into watching the series, I let him have whatever he wanted as traits, and it didn't work. Trick trap. He, in fairness, I am still trying to figure out when I'm going to just sit down and watch NFL Street all the way through. I'm even in the game. So, yeah, he's Lord of a Castle. I guess, yeah, because he's got a really high required loyalty, so I figure I needed to do something to get him through that period when he actually cares about the fact that the Hojo were wiped out, and that he was part of them. Go Away, on the other hand, is, he was with the Takeda. The Takeda have been gone just long enough that Go Away doesn't care anymore, and he was a pretty major part of our battles against the Hojo at the end there. Go Away is rapidly becoming one of my favorite officers. Hana Shapiro would be next, or Hans Shapiro, as I have on this written list, so I goofed that up at some point. She is with the Nagao, and because of her high intelligence and pull and stuff, and her low leadership, she's probably not involved right now in the fight against the Matsudaira, but it's hard to say. She can't quite keep up with the Master's way of doing things. Yeah, she really just doesn't particularly like her master. She is progressive, and she's not getting on that well with Kenshin, who I think is neutral in this game, or possibly conservative. But she's been given a... She's Lord of a Castle, she's been given a treasure, they've done some things to offset that, and she's pretty happy. Hanbei Takanaka. This is a guy, there should have been like a bunch of plot stuff with getting him on board. Hiring him should have actually led to a series of plot scenes, but I didn't trigger the quest, and he just came along later. So he's a really good officer, of course, very high intelligence. I'm surprised his pull is that low. Usually the smart boys, they give them high pull too, but he was known as a genius of a tactician. He and 16 of his men successfully captured Inabayama Castle. He was one of Hideyoshi Hashiba's favorite. He died of sickness during Hideyoshi's western campaign. And he becomes playable in like the Dynasty Warriors series. Unless it was in 3, which I never played, he was in 4. And portrayed as an adorable little kid who likes to take naps. For some bizarre reason, he's one of your 3 starting characters in Warriors Orochi Ultimate, blah blah blah. You don't care. Because we're supposed to be talking about creative officers, like Hans Wurst. Hans Wurst is part of the clan, the Nanbu clan, the clan that has him and Falger and I think Night Demon maybe, just like a couple of rando created officers ended up with them. And as far as anything exciting happening with those guys, it all stalled out when the Nanbu and the Date apparently decided that they were evenly matched enough that neither of them wanted to fight each other, and neither of them did anything from that point on. But he's been given a treasure. He's a veteran officer. He's fairly happy, although he has a pretty strong penalty for can't quite keep up with my master's way of doing things. So his master must be highly conservative. So Hans Wurst regrets the fact that he's been forced to serve the arch-conservative menace. Now we have Hattori Hanzo, 18-year-old ninja, Tokugawa retainer during... He's a ninja, and if you trust the Kill Bill movies, he was also like the greatest swordsmith ever. During Ieyasu's crossing of Iga, he protected him and led him through the area, and allowing his master to return home safely. He also had the nickname Hanzo the Devil. So he's required loyalty of 1. I think there are guys who are like super loyal to the force that they start with, and therefore the game has no other way to make them stay loyal to the force they start with. than to give them a low required loyalty. But the idea that, like, we could take over the Matsudaira and get Hanzo, his required loyalty should skyrocket if that were to happen. Haruhisa, we already briefly looked at, even though he's not a created character. We have a prisoner at Sunpu Palace, huh? I guess we're going to hire him shortly. He's probably Ashikaga. That's weird. Maybe he was with the Satake for some bizarre reason. Here is the Nagao that I found while looking for that other Nagao, who could not be the one I was looking for because she's a girl. Hans first. J4W Pirate ought to be next then, I think. Because we did Hans first, right? Yeah. So J4W Pirate, see, now you've got your full stats going again, which is nice. J4 is Hideyoshi, who... Honor been made Lord of a Castle. It's good the talent rewarded. I don't want to let my master down as regent. So you do get a loyalty plus for the regent thing. Childhood friend of Sadayori Rokoku, inheriting his talent. Oh, childhood friend. What the hell am I talking about? I thought this was the wife of Katsuie, or not Katsuie, Toshiie, but I was wrong. Highly confused. Highly confused. So J4W Pirate, that's what I'm looking for here. Hey, it looks like yeah, it looks like Kisamasa is still alive. I guess he just let his kid take over because he knows that he sucks. He's only 34 too. He is, yeah, retired. It's laudable to wish to support the clan after retirement. Whatever. You're not doing a very good job of it, I would imagine. Got some very neat hats mixed in throughout that group that we just passed by. Ieyasu Matsudaira. You will never get to be Shogun at this rate, buddy. Although you did get Otawara Castle, which still pissed me off. So we got J4W Pirate, who's been given a super awesome treasure, apparently. I kind of would like to find out what that is. The Small Juko Caddy Tea Set. One of Juko's private collection, counted amongst the top 4 of the Nasu style. It was destroyed at Hendoji. So yeah, it's pretty good, you know, this guy's a pirate. He's like got this crazy pike on his back. He's like in a firing explosion. He looks super badass. He doesn't seem like somebody who would be that into tea, but you know, whatever. He is one of the most powerful officers I would imagine the Honganji have. And they can be a bit of a hassle because they too tend to have cities that build up troops quickly. But we've already wiped out most of their cities. There's only 2 left. And if I think of it, I'm going to have Hisahide ordered to take them out in the future so that Hideyoshi can concentrate on his deal. JG Mystery, not much to say. Spent a long time in a loser clan. Eventually they got wiped out by the Shimazu. The Shimazu is one of the few clans that I would, if I was going to play through this game again, let's play through it again. Shimazu would be a fun clan to play as. So, yeah, he always meant to be a political type officer. So, the talented are rewarded, so they've got that progressive policy going, and I/JG wants to create the same kind of world as Taka. He said we're both progressive, but apparently our ideals are different because I don't get along with them that well. Jason Arogi, Ninja Master, Ninja political, I would say Ninja like even Steven good at everything guy. He is with the Nagao and he has been for quite a while. He's actually marching. We saw his unit. Yao Long Yang is with the Uchi. And he won't be up to anything for a while because the Uchi seem to have made peace with the Shimazu. His required loyalty is very low, which is the only reason he's putting up with all this shit with his master being a jerk. But he is Lord of the Castle and he's been with them for a while, so that's his dealio. I guess the Uchi might end up fighting the Chosakabe, and I might just want to form an anti-Chosakabe coalition, actually. This dude's awesome. Did many things to establish a Shimazu. Guy's pretty badass. So yeah, here's the mother of Yoshimoto Imagawa, who we killed so early in this adventure, and her required loyalty is 1. This is the thing. The idea that she would ever leave the Imagawa is insane. So in order to make that not happen, they gave her required loyalty of 1, which means that she'll now be like working for us faithfully at full, at her full stats, despite the fact that she hates the Oda, and yeah. Anyway, we killed her son. She's like, okay, I'll work with you, no problem. He fought against Hisahide Matsunaga when he laid siege to his castle. Later served Nobunaga Oda and rebuilt his forces. So Junkai Tsutsui, the Tsutsui are kind of tied in with Sakon Shima somehow, I know that. But yeah, he basically joined us voluntarily. He became a vassal. He's not a credit officer. What am I talking about so much? Kaidai Kaidaka is next. One of the more interesting character names that we've got. Let's take a quick look at Kagatora Nagao. His ideal is justice. He is conservative. That was explaining why some of the created officers who work for him, he's got to give them treasure to get them to be happy because he's conservative. And most of the created officers came out fairly progressive. He's a daimyo from Echigo, second son of Tamakage. He was appointed Kanto Vice Chancellor by Norimasa Uesugi. He's a fierce fighter, widely known as Dragon of Echigo. And it's another force that, if I was to play the game again, I'm thinking possibly Shimazu, possibly Date, and then possibly just play the story campaign of either Shingen or Kenshin. But who we're meant to be looking at now is Kaidai Kaldaka, who is the lord of a castle for the Shimazu. Well, if her ideal is ambition, she should be fairly happy because she's lord of a castle. That's about as high as you're going to get without getting married off to somebody in the clan. So she's lord of a castle. Never been given a treasure, but she's proud, veteran. She's rewarded, blah, blah, blah. She's happy. This is going fairly quickly, I think, because I'm not really having that much to say about anybody. There's, I'm trying to think how far should I get in this before I think I'll get to Lubu and then call it, and start a new video. And to keep going towards Lubu, next would be Conringo. There is a character who got killed. I can never remember who it is. Takada Retainer served as Shingen's tactician. During the 4th battle of Kawakanajima, his strategy failed against Kenshin Wasugi, and he was killed during the battle. Kaori Suzuki has an awesome name and an awesome hat. Looks a lot like delicious tacos, of course. But no, next is Conringo, and there is one officer who died. I can never remember who that was. See, he's been with us for a while now. Azai Retainer. Served Nobunaga after the demise of his clan. He fought in Hideyoshi Hashiba's forces as vanguard, helping capturing Ganji dudes. Just weird. Kicho, daughter of Dosan Saito. Who is it that I think I'm gonna find that's gonna be so interesting to me? Anyway, Conringo. Keep looking for Conringo. Conringo got married to Tsuki. So Conringo is with the Uchi, and he's lord of a castle. He's a veteran. To really figure out what's going on with Conringo, I guess we gotta look at who Tsuki is, because it does not say that he's been married into the clan. So he probably got married into a small clan that the Uchi conquered. That would be my guess. Let's take a quick look at Tsuki. Taking a quick look at Tsuki. The Ys are gonna take forever. Okay, anytime now we should see Tsuki. Shouldn't be that tough to spot since it's one word. And yet somehow I still zipped right by. Maybe it isn't one word. Maybe... Yeah, okay, she has a last name. It just doesn't show up. Your spouse is just their first name. So, child of Michinao Kono inheriting his talent. Okay, so she... Basically, she was part of a clan that got wiped out. Alright, well, Conringo, you and your lovely marital life actually are gonna eat up a bunch of time now because we have to go find, who was that who's, slacking? Grimmeth Reaper, of course. Frickin' slacker. He's taken the fall of the Hojo harder than most of the Hojo are. So, you know, I guess that's admirable in a way, but his way of expressing his issues isn't to fight against us. It's just to, you know, work for us but do a shitty job. So yeah, we want to keep the demon ninja happy. Believe me, you don't want the demon ninja going after you. Don't forget the enemy within, sunshine. Lord Grimaldus. Oh, I skipped right over him. Kizuke Morikawa. There he is. He is part of the Nanbu clan. He's picked up a lot of skills. He was probably their chief warrior. He may be the guy who defeated Zerfal's clan. So Zerfal, this is your enemy, but he's actually part of your clan now. So you guys are buddies now, I guess. Lord of a castle, veteran officer. Doesn't get along super well with his master, but he's been around for a while. So he's, you know, he's gotten over it, I guess. Was this, yeah, Ieyasu's, I thought, wife, but it's concubine. Lady Sanjo. That's right, Shingen's wife left him to go join the Nagao. Lord Grimaldus. He's got pretty high loyalty. He's working for the Azai. He's just kind of... I don't know when he got all these traits. I guess, just... Because I don't think he learned them by fighting in battles. Because the Azai, it's been pretty quiet with them. He's a proud... Well, I guess no, I did have the Azai helped us out when attacking Nijo Palace, but... He's a veteran officer, lord of a castle. We won't be hearing much from him unless I decide that I just suddenly really want to break the truce with them because, or the alliance, because, yeah, if anything was going to make them fight us, it was going to be us destroying the Asakura, and that didn't do it. Finally, we got Lu Bu, who burns his loyalty. Because his required loyalty is 15, of course, you have to be very careful to make sure he's always really high. He's got a treasure he likes, he's a veteran officer. At this point, he's got so many pluses, I don't think we'll need to worry about him again. But, yeah, I'm a little surprised. We got a hold of him. He was the guy where it really hurt in my explanation videos. I flipped what leadership and valor do and screwed it up. So, he's not the type of military officer exactly that the person who submitted him wanted him to be, where he does lots of damage but takes damage too, kind of reckless. He actually is a little bit better rounded than that, and he's been pretty useful, but because of his low leadership stat, by low I mean it's well above average, but not as high as his valor, he keeps being assigned to be adjutant to somebody else. Like, for a long time, he was beefing up Katsuie's unit, which was probably been the most active military unit for me in the game. So, not a bad place to be if you're not going to be leading your own unit. Anyway, folks, we're just about 30 minutes, just a little over, and just about halfway down the list, so this has worked out pretty good. Next time when we come back, I will do the second half of the created characters, and get us all up to speed with where they are, now in the post-Hojo, post-Satake world. And when we come back after that, I don't 100% know what we're going to do. It's going to kind of depend on the Date, the Nagao, and the Matsudaira. And the Chosakabe have to be, I would think, hoping that one of those clans does something to provoke a war with us, because otherwise, I'm probably going to, well, no, you know, I gotta stay put for long enough to get this quest with Toshiie done. But eventually I can reorganize, and put probably, might let Shingen or maybe Ujiyasu just rule over these lands that were once his in Nobunaga's stead, while I go out and conquer the west and take Shikoku. We'll have to see, folks. But that won't happen until at least 2 videos from now before we figure that out, because next time it's more of visiting with the created characters. Bye-bye.